That 15 minutes or so before shooting time is probably my favorite time of day. Decoys are done, pour a cup of coffee, and just listen. And pretty soon you hear it. That's when it really starts to get exciting. I mean, it just makes you alive. All summer long, working ground, out there sweating, and when it all comes to fruition in the fall, that's what makes it all worth it. For me, it's just a way of life. You would go to the Friday night football game, small town where I grew up, and then the next morning go goose hunting and duck hunting with my dad and uncles and family. It's something that I've done my entire life. Don't know any different, and hopefully I won't know any different. When I was in college, I played baseball. Had a lot of good memories on the bus and playing ball, and was fortunate enough to get drafted despite duck hunting every morning. Played ball in the San Diego system for a couple years. It was a neat experience, but learned pretty quick that I was better at shooting ducks than hitting fastballs. I've lived my whole life hunting, fishing, trapping, and when I got done playing ball, you know, what am I going to do to be able to continue this lifestyle? Not going to get much done today, but man, rain makes grain, and we certainly needed it. It's been awful dry around here. This is by far my most stressful time of the year. If we don't have good crops come fall, our duck season is not nearly as good. My whole life I've been ate up with going out with family and friends, hunting, fishing, trapping on the weekends, and my grandfather had a couple of duck clubs that he was a member of on the Illinois River when I was a kid. Spent a lot of time there and loved it. And from then on, I always wanted a place of my own. And that's really kind of how it started for me. Bought the first farm up here with a friend, and a couple of our buddies had farms down the creek just a couple miles. And we started hunting together a lot, and you know, you can only kill in Missouri 6 ducks in a day. And we had places that we were spending time and resources all summer, pumping water, planting food, managing for waterfowl. And we just didn't get to utilize them that much. So from there, we started taking a few groups out hunting, and it kind of exploded. Ooh, that was pretty. The big ball of green wings, been seeing them all morning. That bunch slipped up. We knew it was going to go pretty well, but it went quicker than even we anticipated.
I guess things that most people don't know about Tony, what drives him is being in the field. What drives him is sweating. Getting his hands and his arms and his legs dirty and coming home covered in sweat. If he doesn't come home covered in sweat and grease, he feels like he didn't work that day. Honestly, that's what drives him. It's the off-season.
I love the off-season management work. I mean, they're long days, it's hot, putting in work. You're basically setting a buffet table, not knowing how many are showing up for dinner in the fall. You think you know what it's going to look like, but you never really do. And then in the fall, when they start rolling in there and you finally see it, I mean, it is so rewarding for me to see. A little bit of south from that wind this morning, they ought to be working right through there up to this mast. Maybe just hit them once, and when they get down in the hole, pop them where they come right back at the blind. That bright moon, a lot of these ducks are going back early, but there'll be a lot of them looking for water at daylight. Running a big operation like we have here, you know, we have to have ducks throughout the season, and to have and hold ducks throughout the whole year, you have to have a variety of food sources. You start out with your natural foods, natural millet, smart wheat, and that comes through moist soil drawdowns where you're taking water off of those wetlands at the proper time. And people tend to get intimidated when they think of habitat management. I mean, they think it might cost a lot of money. Good habitat management for waterfowl is as easy as taking water off your farm at the right time. If this gets high enough that it closes those flappers, we'll still be able to pump water out of our fields. We'll be able to get rid of that surface water and save our crop. I don't have a degree in this. I've just learned a lot through trial and error. And I used to think that I need to disc up everything and plant it with something. And the first couple, 3 weeks of the season or on a warm up, those ducks are eating bugs. So there's a lot to be said for natural foods that you can manipulate. And then there's also a lot to be said for the crops that we grow. We raise corn and beans. The way I like to do it is I'll plant 40 yards of beans, 80 yards of corn. And then I'll cut the beans, get that horizontal cover for the bugs, put the water on, and now it's nice, clean, open water. It's easy to walk, easy for the ducks to get into, and it makes that cornfield good from day one instead of late in the season. And we certainly shoot a lot of ducks. But that being said, it's not a fraction of 1% of the ducks that we feed and hold throughout the season. You ready, buddy? Yeah, you ready? I love watching birds. I love calling to them, and that's my draw to waterfowl hunting, is that it's so interactive. I mean, you're calling those birds into a place they may or may not want to be. I mean, you got ducks, you got the dogs, you got your friends. I mean, it all makes it, for me, the best hunting that there is. You hear that thing ripping wind through them feathers? He was coming as hard as he could come. That's pretty. Good. Shake it off. Kill him, kill him. Get him, boy! Woo! That doesn't get much prettier. You hear the stories from the old timers. I mean, the sky used to be black with ducks, and boy, you want to see it how it used to be. I got news for you. Glory days are now.